Welcome to the Karyn Reece Show. I'm psychic medium Karyn Reece, along with my co-host Alexis Zappia.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Good. We've been pretty busy these days.
We have been pretty busy these days, and we took to Instagram and just did a Q&A on Instagram of what our audience would like to know about you, or about spirit, or about anything. So somebody in the comments wrote, and they wanted to know whether or not who we are in this lifetime is fixed. So meaning our actions, the way we look, perceptions of other people, perceptions of the world, does that come from a past life, or is that something that changes from life to life?
Well, obviously, as you go through each lifetime, you're learning something, you're getting a new maybe perception about something, although most people typically tend to stay physically to where they are in this particular lifetime. Although we've had changes along the way, but usually you find your comfort zone. You know, you might want to be tall, you might want to be short. That would be us.
I want to be taller in another life, so we can change that. I would love to be taller.
We could change that, exactly. But typically speaking, most people physically will look very similar. They may not have the physical ailments. You know, so if you suffer with a knee issue or whatever, you may not experience that. But when it comes to understanding the world, or the way you behave, your attitude, some of that can be changed and altered by life experiences. But that's all part of the purpose of life, right? To grow,
right,
and to find our zen at some point as a spirit. So,
and it's in learning, just like we have here, is continual,
well,
which I love because there's never an ending point.
Well, and it's funny you should say that, because you are such a good psychic, but because you actually, Earth is the schoolhouse of learning, where as souls we can really put our muscle to the test, because it's one of the hardest places to learn. There's other dimensions on the other side, other alternate realities, but
that makes sense.
This one tends to be the one that's a lot more challenging.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to learn more about what you have in store with your readings and guest interviews coming up on the rest of the episode of the Karyn Reece Show. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So we are so excited to have our next guest with us. This is huge. Their name is Deux Moi, and they are an Instagram account where people post and send anonymous submissions about celebrity gossip or anything. And they have over 1 million followers, and they're 100% anonymous, which is the craziest part. So we do have Deux on with us, the person who runs that account. However, the whole thing behind it is that nobody knows who Deux is. So it's like modern day Gossip Girl, I guess you can say. And Deux, the actual person that we're speaking to, their voice is going to sound super weird, and it's because it's going through a distorter. Because anytime Deux does interviews, they distort Deux's voice so that nobody actually knows the identity of Deux Moi. So Deux, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, ladies. So nice to speak with you.
Yes.
Howdy.
Yes, and we have, I should have said,
yes,
we have Deux's merch on, Je suis Deux Moi.
Oh, I love you guys.
Yes, we love our merch.
You too. Absolutely.
Oh my God, Deux is like one of our favorites. Karyn's been doing readings with her for their audience for about, I would say, almost a year. So we loved and we're gonna get right into it.
Yes, and we love everything about Deux. So speaking of which, what was the impetus behind Deux Moi, and did you ever think that it would grow to the extent that it did?
No, it totally took me by surprise. I'm still, every day when something happens or somebody reposts or I see the name of the account printed somewhere in an article, it still takes me by surprise. Like, it's not lost on me that this was sort of just a phenomenon, like that it kind of happened out of nowhere. So it wasn't planned. I started posting the kind of content that I post now over COVID, because like so many people, I was home not doing anything. And, I had a really hard time mentally during, the first couple months of quarantine. So anything to distract myself from what was going on, helped me. So I would spend hours on Instagram running the account, like literally probably like 10 hours a day. Yeah, so that's how it started. That really was the motivation behind it, was a distraction.
And it's all over the place. I was watching Summer House on Bravo, and they posted about, or they sent in a post that they included in the show. And it was something that I obviously know Duh posted it because I saw it when Duh posted it. And then obviously I can tell the way her poster posted, it's very evident. Anyway, so I messaged Joe and I was like, is that a Duh screenshot that I just like saw on Summer House, not only once, but twice? So they say, they try to make it like anonymous, like, oh, we see it out there. I'm like, out there? No, they see it on Duh. Like, what do you like? Let's talk about like where it's really coming from. Like, it's coming from Duh, and there's only one. Yeah. And if someone wants to submit, how do they do that?
So they could just DM me, or there is a website. It's called, oh my God, I don't even know the name of the website because I always just go to it. I think it's called Deux Moi World, or it's called www.deuxmoi.world.
Okay.
I think you could just Google it, but there's a form on that website that they could also submit a tip, but also you could DM me. The DMs, sometimes if you're not in my inbox, it's hard for me to see all the DMs, but the emails now have become very overwhelming too. So I don't see all the emails. So, but those are the two main ways that people submit information.
Awesome. So, after receiving all the gossip and all of this stuff, like who do you think are the most down to earth celebrities?
Good question.
I would have to say, oh God, I mean, are any of them really down to earth? They're celebrities, it's like that. I'll say the kindest, or the people that I've received the nicest submissions about would be Keanu Reeves, Will Smith, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, Julianne Moore, Hugh Jackman.
Oh, I love Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Styles.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad submission about him. I mean, there's so many. It's just those are the ones off the top of my head that I could think of. Trying to think. I hate when I leave people out because I always feel so bad. Rihanna.
It goes on and on, right?
Yeah, Rihanna's another. Rihanna's
Oh, Rihanna.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's exciting. Are you ever scared if you put out a submission that you might get some kind of lawsuit or backlash?
I always say that if there's something posted that a celebrity wants taken down, all they need to do is ask me, and I have been asked to take things down, and I'll just take it down. I'm not existing to be contentious towards the celebrity community. That's not my MO. So I actually had this conversation with somebody about a celebrity today, a pretty famous celebrity, and the person told me that the celebrity doesn't like the account, and I said to this person, if they don't like to be posted about, all they need to do is ask me not to post about them.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even need to be them. Like, sometimes a celebrity will DM me, but sometimes it's their assistant, like all they have to say is, please don't post about me. And I'll say, fine. It's not really any skin off my back. Meanwhile, I had this conversation with somebody, and then an hour later, I noticed that the celebrity has watched all my stories.
You're onto something.
Yes,
Yeah. So I was like, well, do they hate the account, or do they like the account, or do they love to hate the account?
That you post about them, but they love all the other gossip, right?
I guess, I don't know. Maybe they were just scrolling through to see if I posted anything about them, which I hadn't, but I thought it was really funny.
That's ironic, but funny at the same time. So side note to that, but you get so many submissions. How do you weed through the ones that are oh, they're accurate, or versus the ones like someone's just sending you this just because they want to start drama, or, you know, they want to be relevant and be like, I got cited on Deux Moi, but it was like a fake thing. Like, you know, how does that work?
Well, sometimes it doesn't work very well because I have posted submissions just as you described that have not been true. You know, honestly, I just try to use my instinct, or if it's something that I know everyone is dying to know, there are particular people that I could go to about certain celebrities and say, what have you heard about X, Y, and Z? So, you know, there is like a handful of people that I can sort of verify information with. But for the most part, you know, depending on what it is, I just try to use my instincts. I don't, you know, I don't verify with this particular group of people often, mainly because I don't want to really be a pain in the ass. But you know, I just try to use my instincts. But if it's something that everyone's dying to know, and even sometimes there's some things that like I'm dying to know that I'm like, you know, I'll go to whichever person and be like, what do you know about this? Or can you tell? But yeah, a lot fake submissions slip through the cracks all the time. You know, I say all the time, I'm not a human lie detector. Like I'm reading a email like everyone else and just trying to use my judgment. There's no way that I could know every single, you know, thing about every celebrity on the planet. So
You're only human. So I get
yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's what makes your, you know, platform so exciting because you really have interesting and you're always putting out information. You know, speaking of which, what is the most rewarding part about being Deux Moi? And, you know, is there anything that stresses you out, or would you think that maybe this wasn't something you should have done given the stress that is involved, or maybe you have regrets about?
I would say the most rewarding is like when I'm able to help someone. Like I do post job postings, I've posted castings. I've started an account, like an offshoot account called Deux Moi, which is misconnections of people trying to find each other. So I would say like when those posts are successful, that's the most rewarding. If somebody finds a job through my account or makes a connection through my account or gets casted in a reality show through the account, or people have gotten casted for extra parts in movies through the account. So that stuff I think is the most rewarding. And I don't really regret anything. Like I said, I saw a once in a lifetime opportunity and I sort of just rolled with it. And it's a lot of work, but I feel like anything that becomes successful is a lot of work. So, you know, no, I would say no, I don't really regret. I mean, there are days where I'm like, what am I doing? But I try to balance it with the aspects of the account that I just named that, you know, help people. So there is sort of, you know, not 100% vapid aspect to the account. There is like some substance.
I was
to
just
what I'm posting.
You know, of all the shows that I've casted, I've thankfully have gone to you and you've always posted them. And I know that's not, you know, just for me. I know that there are many people out there who ask you to post and you do, you know, Carbone reservations that come up or whatever, you know, like things like that. And that's why I love because it's not a gossip account. It's not like, oh, we're going to start drama. This is what goes on in the lives of people who we don't really or can't really, for other reasons, communicate with, but yet we've built this community around this whole like celebrity universe, and let's all help each other. Let's, you know, help other people become celebrities by casting them on TV. Or, oh, you want to go to Carbone? I got you. Like, I can't make my reservation tonight, so I'm going to give it up, and, you know, Deux Moi is going to post about it. So it's like such a community of people for all the very good reasons, and I love that. So anyway, so what's next on the horizon for Deux Moi?
Well, I have an exciting announcement next week, a big announcement that I'm really excited about. So that unfortunately I can't say anything about it until next week, but I'll post about it next Wednesday.
Okay.
I have my podcast every week. It comes out on Thursdays. You could look it up. It's DEUX/U, and the Green Room.
Awesome.
The Spotify Green Room every Monday night. It's so fun. I love doing it. It's so fun.
No, it is. It's such a fun community there as well. So Duh, thank you so much for joining us today.
We love
you. We love everything that you do. And thank you for always being in our little camp here, on Green Room and all that. Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. It was great talking to you.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. As always, anytime Karyn's around, spirit's around. So if you would like to enter to potentially win a reading to hear from your past loved ones or hear about your future, you may do so by visiting our website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. And she's also on TikTok at Karyn Reece and the number 1. You can also send her an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ KarynReece.com. In your submission, please make sure you put your first and last name, phone number, email address, and why you deserve to win a reading. So today we have a very lucky winner with us who wrote to us on Facebook. Mary, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, ladies, so much for letting me come. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Karyn, take it away.
Okay, so we have some people coming in today. I got your mom's side coming in. Her parents are coming in. Who's the Kara or Carrie? Is that a friend of yours, or your mom's like a Karen, Carol? It's similar to my name. Does your mom have a friend or do you have a friend with a name like a Karen, Carol, Carrie sound?
So I have a half sister named Carrie. Yeah.
Oh, that's your house sister?
Half sister.
Half sister. Oh, I couldn't hear you. Okay, that's what they're talking about. Well, you and Care Bear have been sisters, full sisters in multiple lifetimes, just so you know, FYI on that. So when you met Carrie, did you ever feel that connection?
So actually, Carrie and I, we haven't yet to meet. So I have 2 half sisters. Yes, but we've been talking and stuff on Instagram because I found her on Instagram. So we have been like connecting and whatnot. And a big thing is dogs. We both have pets. So yeah, so I can definitely see, because her and I, it's if we've known each other for a lifetime.
Oh, you share your father. Is that how it works?
Yes.
Yeah, because your father's side just came in and he said connected. Your father's not on the other side, correct?
Yeah, he is. My biological father is, yes.
Yep, because I was double checking. I thought I heard him say father. I'm like, did I just hear it right? Because he came in and he was saying Carrie too. And he said connected. He's glad that you 2 girls are going to get together, just so you know. So you've never met your sister, but clearly you're going to meet her, because he came in and goes, that's my daughter. I'm like, did I hear it right? Or Grandpa? Slow down, everybody. Your father just did a big heart over you. And he said, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of my children. You have a lot of your dad in you too. You know that? All the good parts your father said to tell you. Make sure you tell your mom that too, just so you know. The name David just comes up around you. Are you working with a Dave? Is this somebody that you've worked with, a David?
I have a best friend named David.
Oh, it's your best friend, because your father said close, and then somebody started talking about your work. I knew you're somehow close. Then I heard something work. You must talk about work then to David or something like that. But you and David have been best friends in multiple lifetimes, and brother and sister.
I could definitely see, we call each other soulmates without the mating, because he's a beautiful gay man. So that's why.
It's without the mating. You're all laughing. Mary, that's actually hilarious. So mating without the mating. Oh my God, that is so funny. Yeah, but you've known each other in so many lifetimes. It's funny when you look at people, where they are with people in their lives, and then you look at past lives. And you can see coincidences, like we have coincidences, and I'm like, those are validations. It's just the funniest of things. Your father's laughing. He thinks that's hilarious. Who was a teacher who wanted to work in education? It was your mother or something who's got education, or you?
So I used to want to work in education, but then I kind of changed that major. But my mother works in a school. She just retired, but she's a school secretary and very involved in the elementary back home in Louisiana.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, because your father said, then your grandma said, oh yeah, my daughter works in the school system somehow. She didn't specify, but then your father says, oh, you mean Mary, she wanted to be a teacher. They're both helping each other talk. Just so you know, like when they talk from the other side, it takes a lot of energy. So part of the reason, though, you have a draw towards teaching is because of past life ties with your mate that you didn't mate with David. So Dave was a teacher, and so were you. The name Jeff or Jess just came up around you. Are you close to a Jeff? Jess? Jeff?
I have an ex-boyfriend named Jeff who I completely respect. And then with Jess, a best friend, Jessie, who I call Jess, who's really close to my heart.
Okay, that's your best friend is Jess?
Yes,
Yeah,
one of my best friends, Jess.
Yeah, because your father said close best friend. I couldn't hear him. He goes, Jess, just so you know, Jess is another past life tie with you too. Does Jess have an interest in music yet? Like playing a guitar instrument? Yeah, he's done many instruments in music and past life ties too. And you'll all have friends. One thing about you take your friends and you're such a true friend that you'll carry these people to the end of this lifetime. And you have a very long lifetime ahead of you. So FYI on you.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I love that.
I love what I see. Who's Tom, by the way? Is that a friend of your brother's?
Oh, so Tom's actually my boyfriend's stepdad.
Oh, okay. Because I heard you're close to Tom, and I'm like, and I heard something, Dad, and then we're talking about your brother. I like Tom. Your father likes Tom too. So Tom's a good. You can always tell by a family the dynamics. What you have to work with when you meet people. Some people rise above it. Some people are still stuck in it. But we love, your boyfriend's family. Tom's a good man. Your father says, I couldn't be happier. He says, I just want you kids to be happy. And you make me very proud, very, very proud. He's proud of his kids. So FYI on that. And also, speaking of which, do you ski at all, Mare?
I want to.
That's what your dad said. He says, you're going to go ski. And I'm like, he said, yeah, you've got skiing ahead of you. I think snowboarding would be a lot of fun too.
Hell yes. No, that's something I've always wanted to try and do. We're in California and I know I could just go in the north. So that's actually one of our next things that we're planning on doing is actually experiencing skiing and snowboarding because we've never done it before.
Well, hallelujah, man. We're up in Buffalo, so we'll be glad to send you some snow.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, ladies, thank you so much. This was such an incredible experience. I really appreciate it.
Oh
of course. Well, thank you, Mary, so much for joining us today. Hopefully this gave you the peace and the closure that you needed. Karyn, thank you. And Spirit, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So if you would like to connect with Karyn to hear from your past loved ones or hear about your future, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. And you can also visit her on TikTok at Karyn Reece and the number 1, or you can send her an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ sign, KarynReece.com, or you can call our office phone at 716-580-2520.
Ah, that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. It is I have to go through it in my head, each one of your socials, each one of this and that. Yes, it's a mouthful.
Wait till our next lifetime. You'll be doing even more, so you could add that into your credentials, But anyways, it was kind of interesting though, what we spoke about a little bit earlier about your shifting of awareness and your shifting from this lifetime to the next lifetime, and that your perceptions change. So it's really something to embrace and something that, we could take hold of and go forward.
I love it. And it's not instantaneous. So it's something that shifts over time, and how you perceive the world is just, it always is ever flowing, if that makes sense. Ever changing.
Education.
One way more than another. Yes.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for a wonderful show. Thank you guys for watching this episode of The Karyn Reece Show, and we'll be back for more next week.